Hey guys, this is Trent Cotney, CEO of Cotney Construction Law, and we're here today with another live podcast. This is Law and Mortar, and we've got a special guest today, David Kronenfeld, who is our succession planning, estate planning, and mergers and acquisitions lawyer. So we get a lot of calls from contractors and trades that ask us about buying and selling businesses. It's something, the market's real good now, market's strong, so we get a lot of questions and comments about that. So wanted to talk to David today because he's the man when it comes to that stuff. Let me make sure I get this right. He went to Washington and Lee undergrad. He went to WashU for law school. He's got an LLM in tax, which is the equivalent of a master's in tax law. Been doing it for about 10 years. You're licensed in Arkansas, Texas, and Florida.
That's right.
Is that good?
That's
all right.
That's
So
right.
first question I kind of wanted to ask you is, so let's say I'm a contractor and I call and I want to buy or sell a business. What are some of the things that I should be thinking about?
I'd say, first of all, let's look at your corporate book. Let's make sure all your minutes are up to date. Let's make sure your corporate shareholding structure is, maybe remove some of the smaller shareholders if they're willing to be bought out, so that it's an easier transaction, easier negotiation. There are fewer people kind of getting involved. Second thing would be to maybe get some non-competes with some of your key employees to make sure that they're willing to, that you're able to kind of bind them up, especially when you get a buyer. Because so often, especially in the contracting trades, what you're selling is your book of business and your brand that you've built up. And if your key employees leave, then your value is diminished a little. And then also doing what I call kind of a pre-due diligence checklist, going through, making sure that there's no significant items that might really ding you from a buyer's perspective. No major litigation, no PR issues, or no employee issues where you've got a problem employee that may be causing problems even after they've left. Some things like that you can just get wrapped up before you start thinking about selling your business. And then also start to clean up the financials. I love to see audited financials, just because a buyer is going to be much more likely to say, okay, I trust these, rather than QuickBooks and here are a bunch of receipts and here are some invoices and this is how I got paid. A buyer is going to discount that, and you're going to get a lower price on your business for that. So those are some things that I encourage buyers to start thinking about, or sellers rather, to start thinking about as they're looking to sell their business.
That's all really good advice. Let's step up a little. So for you guys that are looking at this, we've got our main headquarters in the back. It's about 9,000 square feet. We ran out of room there. We've got overflow space downstairs, but we're sitting on 2 acres on the water, and we're right in the heart of construction in Tampa. So it's a great place. We get a lot of walk-ins, and we're right where all the action is as far as what we do. So if you see the occasional bug go by or something like that, that's why. So next question we get a lot is, a lot of construction businesses are family-owned. They're generational. So I get calls all the time where it's a father that owns the business and they want to transfer it down to their sons or daughters, and there's a lot of issues there. There's not just the business aspect, but there's some personal issues, emotional issues, things of that nature. So why don't you give the audience some helpful tips or things like that when you're talking about succession planning?
Great. So those are really muddy waters to navigate oftentimes, because I've seen it time and time again. You have 3-4 kids. One gets super involved in the business, maybe even takes it to the next level, is ready to take over the business. The other one, might get involved tangentially and is maybe doing some back office work, but isn't really as involved. And then you have a third or a fourth who decide that they don't want to be involved in the family business, and they go off and they're doing accounting or law or medicine or something, even out of state. And so often business owners they have a lot of angst about how to approach that, because you want to divide your estate up equally, and yet you've got a family member that has got very involved in the business. And do you apportion your business equally? Do you account for things differently, maybe for the son or daughter who's not involved in the family business? And those are some of the things that, there's no right answer, but those are some of the things that I help our clients work through, because they are very sticky issues. And one of the values that we add is the fact that we're a third party, we're removed, we're not right in the middle of that emotional bit. And so we help guide our clients and just give some good advice that's very objective, and help them navigate those waters so that they come to a conclusion that they're happy with.
That's a good point. I think the other thing is we're so heavily ingrained in construction. You know, a lot of our people came from construction. I think we've got about 4 licensed contractors that are lawyers. So, you know, we all kind of worked in construction in one capacity or another. It allows us to understand the inner workings a little bit better. So, last thing I want to talk to you about today on this beautiful Friday afternoon is the new tax changes. And there's a lot of big implications there for contractors, both from business and personal perspective. And we're actually going to be talking about this, I think, at the Tennessee Association summer meeting. But I wanted to kind of talk to you and see what your thoughts were, if you had any highlights there as far as the new tax changes.
Well, I think 2 of the biggest takeaways are, one is you're thinking about starting a new business. How you choose to structure that has changed a little, just because of the way that structures are taxed. It used to be LLCs were kind of the go-to entity. Now some of the advantages of LLCs have been kind of made a level playing field between those and C corporations. So there's definitely some things to think about and advise our clients, especially as you're maybe forming a subsidiary, or not so much a subsidiary, but a new company. And then the second thing is just some of the expensing deductions that you can get out of the new tax law. You're able to expense a higher amount. Some of those things can even include new roofs, new HVAC systems. And so, whether that's a selling point to your customers, or it's something that you need to think about because your headquarters could use some capital improvements, and you could go ahead and expense those and deduct them off your taxes this year, and save a good bit of money on your taxes if you've had a really good year, which I think many of our clients have just in this environment. So those are some things to talk about. Either come to us or your accountant, one of the two, or we work hand in hand with accountants. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. It seems like I spend most of my day trying to figure out how to navigate taxes and insurance. It seems like every dime I get, it goes to either insurance or taxes. So David's advice is spot on. So stuff we got coming up in the future, calendar-wise, we've got Western States. I am flying out to Portland, Oregon to speak with Western States and the Oregon Association. I'll be speaking Monday in Portland on contract provisions that are important for OSHA defense. We're going to Western States. We got 3 lawyers that are going to be there. Danielle from our Denver office, and then myself and Dan are going to be there. We're speaking a couple times. I'm speaking on crisis management and OSHA. Then we've got a day-long presentation for Associated Builders and Contractors here in Tampa. And then, of course, we got the big FRSA Convention and Expo at the end of June in Orlando. I know we'll have 6-7 people over there. So keep us in mind. We're gonna I don't know what we'll do next week, but we're gonna do something. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great weekend. Thank you.